Breakups are rough. They're up there on the list of things that we really don't want to go through in life. And for most people, if they had to choose between going through a breakup and getting a root canal, they choose a root canal. But if you're unlucky enough to have gone through a breakup recently, and most people do at some point in their life, then you might be wanting to get some pointers for how to manage it a little better, how to feel better, and what to do moving forward. And if you have an anxious attachment style in your attachment mix, then there's going to be certain things that you can do that will help you to feel better, and also ways that you can turn this painful experience into an opportunity for growth and healing and make your next relationship even better. So I remember going through a rough breakup years ago, and truthfully, it felt horrible. But I committed to doing a lot of personal growth work and attachment work, and now I'm in a committed, amazing relationship with my love and life partner. So if you're going through a breakup, just hang in there because it will get better. I'm Kaylee Larkin. I help people with insecure attachment style to develop relationships with more love, security, and deep connection. You can find more resources in my videos here or at kayleelarkin.com, where you can find guided meditations, courses, and a blog all about attachment style. In anxious attachment, people can really get focused on the other person. They're hyper attuned to potential rejection or abandonment. So, understandably, this makes a breakup super intense because oftentimes people's worst fear about a relationship literally came true. Of course, there's other reasons for a breakup besides a person leaving us. Sometimes we choose to break up for our own reasons, or something else happens that ends the relationship. Sometimes we just aren't getting our needs met, and maybe there's conflicts that we can't solve, and we can't figure out how to make it feel like it felt in the beginning of the relationship. But for whatever reason that the relationship ends with anxious attachment style, there can be a lot of feelings and even low self-esteem, feeling like we aren't good enough or worthy enough of love. If you're having any intensity of feelings like this, it's a good idea to reach out for support, and definitely lean into some positive self-care, which we're going to talk about. Self-care is a big one, super important after a breakup. You might have some favorite ways that you like to do self-care. If you want to, go ahead and drop them into the comments, because you just might help someone else. You never know what you say that helps you that might help someone else. Personally, when I'm doing self-care, I like to get out in nature. I like to just soak in some of that natural energy from the earth that really helps me feel embodied and connected to myself. I also love to do mood boosting things like making a good meal, or getting takeout. I like cooking pretty healthy food. Recently, I tried making spring rolls, which were super fun to make, very sticky. And I finally discovered how to make a sauce that tastes like that peanut sauce in Thai food. Anyway, trying new things is a nice way to boost dopamine, and we also get to learn something at the same time. Not to mention, we have a delicious, healthy meal, which is also going to help our mood. So, if you're going through a breakup and you have anxious attachment style, it can be really helpful to have company. So, instead of trying to tough it out alone, it can be very helpful to spend time with friends if they are supportive and understanding. Friends can help to take your mind off the breakup while hopefully providing an empathetic ear. And also, they can help you to remind you of your positive qualities, to help build back up your self-esteem, which may have taken a hit during the breakup. They also give you their own perspectives, since they've probably gone through a breakup or two themselves, at least at some point. And are there any times when it might not be helpful to spend time with your friends after a breakup? If all we're doing is talking about the breakup, we're going in circles, it just keeps us stuck in that grieving process. Unlike in avoidant attachment, where people might overfocus on distraction and mood boost at the expense of processing their feelings, in anxious attachment style, people sometimes will overfocus on their feelings. So in that case, it's a good idea to seek support from a coach or therapist who can help you move through the feelings and process, and also guide you through some self-soothing practices. However you practice the emotions of the breakup, just remember it's totally fine to go at your own pace and not be rushed through the grieving process. into a next relationship. This is a really good chance to just take a moment and pause and practice acceptance of the situation before moving into some mood boosting, of course. So the key to getting through post-breakup with our self-esteem attacked is to master the art of self-compassion. This is especially important for the anxious attachment style because people can be really hard on themselves. I like the practice that I heard about from Kristen Neff, which involves writing yourself a compassionate letter. Basically, you imagine that you're writing to a friend and expressing all of your understanding, your encouragement, your empathy, only you're writing this letter to yourself. This isn't a letter that you need to mail or anything like that, although now I'm imagining receiving this letter a week after you send it, or you've forgotten about it, or however long it takes for the post to deliver the mail to you wherever you are. Probably not a good idea. So you write this letter to yourself and you get as loving and empathetic in a genuine way as you want to. This is also a really good practice in learning how to talk and be kind to yourself. If you're having trouble figuring out what to write, you could start by remembering a time when you felt compassionate towards someone, when you were coming from a wise and loving place, and then write while expressing your empathy for what your friend is feeling, only that friend is you. So here's an example of what this might sound like, since some of you might be wondering. So, dear Kaylee, and I'm not going through a breakup as I mentioned, but here's an example of what I might write if I were. Dear Kaylee, I love you so much, and I wish I could just give you a big hug right now. You're not alone right now, even though it might feel like it. I just want you to know that I'm here for you and I'm not going anywhere. Breakups are so rough. Know that you are strong and resilient, and you're going to get through this. And then you can go on for as long as you want to, saying whatever will help you to feel better. I know going through a breakup is rough. Learning more about your attachment style can help you transition through a breakup, build awareness of patterns that will help you in your future relationships. Remember to have compassion for yourself and that it will get better. You got this. If you got something out of this video, please like, subscribe, and feel free to share this video too with anyone who's going through a breakup. You never know who you might help. This is Kaylee Larkin, wishing you a beautiful relational journey.